Hey everybody, Cool Coder here. Today I'm looking at Leetcode 11, container with most water. In this problem, we're given an input array of integers where the integer is representing a vertical line from 0 to the value itself. And we want to return the maximum area created from two lines. So looking at the example, we see that we're given in this input array, we see that the answer is 49. And basically the max area of water in the input array is going to be 49. So to solve this, we're going to use two pointers. We'll have a left pointer and a right pointer. And while left is less than right, we'll use a while loop to loop through the input array, and while left is less than right, we will calculate the area and then update the max area if it needs to be updated. So to calculate the area, what we're going to do is we're going to need the height and the length, because that's how you calculate area. And to find the height, what we're going to do is grab the smaller of the two values. So right now we're at 1 and 7. So right now height will be 1. And then our length is going to be the right index, which is 8, minus the left index, which currently is 0. So 8 minus 0 is 8. So 1 times 8 is going to be 8. And that's going to be our current area for the first iteration. So the reason we grab the smaller of the two values is, let's draw an example. So let's say this is 1 and this is 7. So the reason we use the smaller value 1 as the height is because if we use 7, then the water will end up overflowing, right? So that's why we want to use the smaller of the two values to be the container, because now the water can't overflow. So that's why we grab the smaller of the two values for the height. And so once we've calculated the current area, we can compare this to the max area. We can set max area to 0 or negative infinity or something like that. Let's set it to 0. So once we calculate the current area, we're going to compare it to the max area. And if the current area is greater than the max area, then we'll update max area. So max area will now be 8. And then we're going to increment whichever pointer is at a smaller value, because we want to keep the largest value, because we want the largest container. So we don't want to stay at 1. We want to increment 1 and keep the larger of the two vertical lines. So 1 is obviously less than 7. So we're going to update the left pointer. So left will now be here. The index is 1 and this is the value. And then we're going to calculate the area again. So now the height is going to be the smaller of the two, 8 and 7. So now the height is going to be 7. The length is going to be 8 minus 1, which is also 7. And 7 times 7 is 49. So we've got the current area, and then we're going to again compare it to the max area. 49 is greater than 8. So we'll update max area to 49. And that's the answer we've got here. And that's pretty much it. So the time complexity for this solution is going to be O of n, because for all of the elements in the input array, we're only going to we'll loop through the input array once. So if the length of the input array is n, we're only looping through in elements. So we're not making any extra loops or any nested loops or anything like that. And that's pretty much it for the solution. Let's go ahead and code this up. Okay, so like I said, we're going to have a left and a right pointer. The left is going to start at 0 and the right is going to start at the end. And then we can create a max area and set that to 0. So then we can go ahead and get into our while loop while left is less than right. Remember, we want to find the smaller of the two values. Now that we have the min height, we can go ahead and calculate the current area. Current area, again, is going to be right minus left times min height. And then we can compare current area and max area and update max area if we need to. So max area is going to equal the larger of the two. And then we can go ahead and increment the smaller of the two. So we're going to find which value is smaller and increment that one. And then once we break out of the while loop, we can go ahead and return the max area. And that's pretty much it. Let's run it, make sure it works. It does. So thanks for watching. Hope you learned something. Please like and subscribe, and I will see you on the next one.